Okay, before we go into audience question, right? There's one final question I want to kind of touch upon. These schemes have been more targeted towards getting people to start companies. You know, there's been the media has also positioned starting companies as a sexy, fun, cool thing, and everything has been positioned towards being an entrepreneur. What about the whole idea of getting people excited to join startup companies instead? Would that make Singapore a better, more conducive environment? Have we done enough of that? You know, and if not, how could we actually do that better? So rather than starting companies, getting people excited to join startup companies instead. How do you think we could actually do that better, and how would that make Singapore a better startup environment?
No, we had no problems. I mean, I don't know about others, but there was never a problem for us. You know, if there was an exciting job, people would. I didn't see a problem. I'm not sure if others have, but I didn't see a problem getting people. It was starting a company, which I think were the difficult things. That was my impression. Much more than getting people. I found people with no problem.
There's a statistic that I sort of read. NTU did a study of the student, and they asked them, what do you want to do after you graduated? And there were 3 areas that they can choose. The first one is to be an entrepreneur. Second is that they can be a professional. The third is that they could be an administrative leader, perhaps work in the government. So the result was that there were 8%. That 8% seems to be quite consistent when you see many of such surveys. These are hardcore entrepreneurs. Then most of them want to be professional, 60–70%. Then the 20–30% are actually administrative leaders. So that wasn't a surprise, but the interesting question really was a follow-through question beyond that question. The question was, if you have an opportunity to actually take a product to market, to be an entrepreneur at a certain point in your life, would you be interested? And that's a big number, 30%. So what's this gap about this 8% versus that 30%? Many people, I believe, even in our academic institutions, want to be an entrepreneur of sort. Entrepreneur doesn't mean that you have to start, but you could be part of an entrepreneurial team. And a lot of them don't have a product to start out with. That's one problem, that they couldn't do anything about it. The second problem is that they might not have the financial ability to actually do it, because they still need a couple of $1,000s a month to survive, so they can't actually be an entrepreneur and not drawing any money. So I think what we are doing here, I mean, if you have 100 startups not funded, so you're going to create a lot more opportunity for these people to join the startup. And so therefore, the number of entrepreneurs will go up, because that's how they train to be an entrepreneur. They have to be given the environment to be one. A lot of time, hopefully, they become part of the team, because a lot of these startups, given that you go in so early, you're going to be part of the team. And if more of them are successful, then you could see a lot more of this success story. The success story is not going to be a big hit, the $1 billion hit. There are going to be many small hits. Maybe somebody walking away with $3–5 million, a $15–20 million exit. But hopefully there will be more of this. And we have started seeing actually last 12 months. These are small exits. I mean, Hungary go away, $12 million. Then there are a couple of them, it's $10–12 million. It's not a bad run, $3–5 million over 3 to 5 years. So when this success story happens, which I expect that I think next couple of years it would happen, because or else we'll lose our pants, because we are investing a lot of money right at this stage. So given that number, something will happen, I think.
I just want to get back to your question on the people joining startups. I think to me, since I run a venture capital fund, it's all about risk. And I think in my observation, there's actually kind of 2 distinct categories of people. You have those, fresh out of school, pretty young. I think they have minimal downside risk. Worst kind of worst, they try it out. They can go back to the parents. They will not get kicked out of the system. And to get back into the to the corporate game with the V, with the CV is actually quite acceptable. And then we have the other group, which is kind of the 40+, 50+. In fact, some of the incubators that we have now, they're actually staffed by people who are above in their 50s. And I started to ask why. And the interesting observation was that these people probably have their kids already out and finished their studies. They have a little bit of a nest egg savings, and they're kind of, I wish I had done it, but it's not too late yet. I still have another run. So that's kind of the 2 groups which we tend to see. So I think if we want to look at how you know the whole getting more people in the startup ecosystem. But I think it comes back to managing the risk for them as an individual.
Well, it is a very multi-layered question, but I thought there's one aspect of it that maybe is pertinent as well, but not very well addressed. That's also to do with, I think, culture, and I think in our culture, parental support makes a lot of difference as well. I know the audience here, a lot of people are different, diverse age groups, but I think you can kind of understand this thing that I'm saying. So if I ask you, if you had a kid and the kid came to you and said that, no, Mom, Dad, whatever, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor or a banker, I don't think too many of you will object. But can I have a show of hands here? If your son or kid or daughter said, I want to be an entrepreneur, how many of you are very excited about this? Okay, this is an entrepreneurial conference, and I only saw one third, okay, of the hands up. So if you took a poll at the market or whatever it is, I don't know, even in my family, I have three kids. One of them hinted that might be interested in this, and then my wife came to me, you need to have a talk with your son. Because if he's going to start anything, it means he's going to borrow money from us, right?
Everybody, please put your hands together and join me in thanking the panelists today.